Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Center for Climate Literacy's third annual Earth Day Fest. My name is Nick Cleese, and it is a joy to be with you today. I have the privilege not only of serving as the Associate Director of Community Engagement at the Center, but also to be your MC for today. And we have a ton of excellent content to cover in the next hour. So I'm going to get right to a few logistics that will help you experience today's fest to the fullest. The first thing to know is that this session is being recorded, but unless you are appearing as a panelist, you will not be recorded. What this means for you is that you will receive the link to this recording following the webinar, as well as a link to the slides and a link to all the resources that we mentioned throughout. So be checking your inbox for that early next week. The second thing to know is that you can interact with us in a few different ways. One is through the Q&A function that you can find on your Zoom toolbar, either at the bottom or at the top of your screen, or you can email us directly at the center at climatelit@umn.edu. Because the folks at the center are participating in this webinar, we're not going to be able to check that email right away, but we will get back to you as soon as we can, likely early next week. The third thing to know, and this is, I think, the most exciting part, is that we will be giving away not one, not two, not three, not even four, but 5 gift cards to the Red Balloon Bookstore. That's St. Paul's premier children's literature bookstore. So be listening for your name. And if your name is called, you should be checking your inbox especially closely because we will be emailing you that digital gift card. If you happen to not live in the Twin Cities metro area, never fear, because Red Balloon Bookstore will ship books to you. And these are also good for ebooks and audiobooks. What a deal. The last bit of business that I have to share with you before we start is our schedule of events. Here in a second, I'm going to hand things off to Dr. Marek Ozievich, who's the center director, who will share a few things by way of welcome. Then you'll get to see and hear me again for a read aloud. You'll hear from a variety of folks in the third part of our session to hear about the work that's been accomplished in the past year. You'll hear from a variety of folks about the work that's going to come up in the years to come. And for the fifth part of our fest, you'll hear from some very special guests, some of whom may be from this planet, some of whom may be from other planets. Time will tell. Finally, we will end with a restatement of our gratitude for all the wonderful work and support that you all do, all the wonderful work that the folks at the center have been able to accomplish, and of course, for our planet Earth. So thank you, everyone, for being here. But before I pass it off to Marek, we better not go any further without giving away our first gift card. So please do a drum roll on the surface nearest to you. And our first winner is Aparna Kapoor. Congratulations, Aparna. Be checking your email because you're getting that gift card. All right. We got 4 more to give away. But first, Marek.
Hello, everyone. My name is Marek Ozievich. I'm the director of the center. I'm wearing this official tie today to celebrate Earth Day, and I'm going to be using a prompter here to make sure that I don't forget to say any of the important things that need to be said. Okay, so first off, we are broadcasting this from Minneapolis, Minnesota, which is the homeland of the Dakota and Ojibwe people, and we are grateful to them, to indigenous people everywhere, to land and water protectors everywhere for their work, for teaching us how to protect the sacred, this land, these waters, and everything that lives. We take inspiration from the indigenous people's stewardship of the land, their wisdom, and their earth-centric values. They are inspiration to our work at the center. We are here to express our gratitude to our planet, to share how we can stand up for it in our everyday lives at the time of the climate emergency. We believe that universal climate literacy education is the key to accelerating a transition to an ecological civilization. And the center was created exactly for this purpose. Our goal is to develop research support resources, training, so that teachers, all teachers, no matter where they are, no matter what grade level they teach, that they can integrate and incorporate climate literacy education in everything they teach. And this vision, of course, builds on an understanding of climate literacy as a broad social, scientific, cultural, and narrative competence. We believe that climate literacy is this expansive capacity that can start growing when you're really young, and then it flourishes throughout your entire life, nourishing you and everyone around you. And because we have this view of climate literacy as this growing capacity, we take inspiration from nature. What you see on this slide is the Fibonacci sequence. And the Fibonacci sequence is a mathematical formula that describes the patterns of nature, describes how things grow, develop, like snail shells, pine cones, flowers, all the way up to galaxies. And in this sequence, things start small, but they expand. There is always space for adding new elements. There is always space for new growth. There is always space for old elements, which just reshuffle. There is a proportion, and no space is wasted. So this is exactly what climate literacy is all about. It starts with attention to how the living world works, to small things, how we are related to other life forms, how we are stewards of the Earth's biospheric inheritance, which also belongs to non-human beings, to plants, animals, and to future generations. Alongside climate science, climate literacy includes an understanding of how our civilization systems, industrial, legal, energy, financial, how these systems impact our planet. It includes an understanding of what stories, mental models, and values have led us into the climate emergency. And it also includes an understanding of what values, what mental models and stories can lead us out to transform the emergency into an emergence. It also includes an understanding of how we transition from where we are to an ecological civilization that we all want to see. Later today, we will reveal and share with you a conceptual map of climate literacy that illustrates some of these complex interactions. But in this version of climate literacy, in this vision that we have, at the center of this Fibonacci sequence is teachers. As you can see here, teachers empower their students. Students and teachers empower schools and classrooms and communities. And this work expands to societies and to the entire planet. All of our work that we do at the center is to support teachers, because teachers are the boots on the ground in the climate literacy revolution that will transform our education systems. And we're talking about Earth-centric education for all. So imagine the world we can create with education focused on nourishing values, attitudes, and behavioral change aligned with how we should live to be good ancestors, to build a just, sustainable, ecological civilization. Imagine a world where you and everyone else is able to live meaningful lives, fulfilling lives without harming the planet. Imagine that we are not implicated in Earth-destroying activities, as is the case today. Imagine we live in harmony with the flows that support life, bugs, birds, plants, everything as our kin, as fellow Earthlings. Imagine a world where all systemic drivers of the climate emergency, from wealth inequality to industrial pollution and global warming, where all of these things have been confronted and eliminated. If you can imagine that, you will realize that we will never get there unless we transform our education. We need education that helps us become good Earthlings, good ancestors, good kin, good stewards. This learning needs to be at the heart of everything we do in schools, from kindergarten all the way to high school, across all subject areas, in all schools everywhere. This is how we create a climate literate society, and this is our mission at the Center for Climate Literacy. So today, we celebrate the work of the past year. We'll thank our team, fellows, and supporters. We'll report on what we've accomplished, and we'll share visions and goals of what we want to do going forward. And we'll have guests joining us from another galaxy, and we'll be raffling off books as well. But as you know, climate literacy is best developed with stories. And some of the best stories are the stories about how the stories people accept or challenge lead into action, and lead to change. So here's one example, a 2023 picture book on the origin of Earth Day. It's a book by Barry Wittenstein, illustrated by Jesse Hartland.
And this book is called The Day the River Caught Fire: How the Cuyahoga River Exploded and Ignited the Earth Day Movement. Now, I'm going to read this picture book to you so you can sit back and relax, but I'm also going to encourage you to read along. So if you feel like it, you can read along when I prompt you to. So this is the day the river caught fire. That was the day the river caught fire. It's one of the many stories that we at the Center for Climate Literacy appreciate and use to work with young people in imagining better, more ecological futures. And at this point, we'd like to share some of the big accomplishments that we've been able to do in the past year to work towards that goal. But before I pass things off to Dr. Emily Midkiff, it's time for another prize drawing. So please do a drum roll on the surface nearest to you and cross your fingers. The winner of the second Red Balloon gift card is Emma Pouncil. Emma, thank you for attending today. Check your inbox for that gift card. Without further ado, I'm going to kick it over to Dr. Emily Midkiff, who is zooming in from the University of North Dakota at Grand Forks. And Dr. Midkiff, please take it away.
Thank you. It's snowing up here today. So the Climate Lit is one of the foundational parts of the Center for Climate Literacy, and so I'm very excited to be working with it as its managing editor. I took over that role last year, and we launched a new submission system in November 2023, and that's been working really smoothly to get our submissions through a peer review process and on the website for usage. And of course, the whole website is searchable. That's the whole goal. So everything is hyperlinked and easily accessible for anyone who wants to use it. And so we've been in this big growth phase since last year, and we're really excited to say that we now have 98 database entries. So those are entries on books, on movies, on video games and board games and things like that, and even on nonfiction and youth-authored texts. And we have 98 in total now. 50 of them are new just since our last Earth Day celebration last year, and 31 are just new in 2024. So we're really trying to kick things up. We also had glossary entries, and those are entries about common climate literacy concepts that are linked to all of our other entries, so that if you wanted to, for instance, read a book to a class or to your grandchild or to your child or your niece or nephew or whatever about a certain concept, you could find that link and find all the books that have that concept in it. We have 24 glossary entries now, and that's 12 new since last year and 10 new just in 2024. So again, growth. We've got 61 contributors and 3 editors and 7 assistant editors, and those are all pretty much, the editors and the assistant editors are all new as part of the new submission system, so I'm very grateful for their help. And we have thus far had 100% acceptance rate, which would not be good for a journal, but is good for us because we want everything to get through the system. So everything has at least 1 round of revisions with the editors, some of them up to 3, because we really want to get them to a good level of quality before they get on that website, but we want them all through because we want to keep building. Most entries are published within 2 months of submission, which I think is pretty good. That's pretty fast, especially for academic publishing, and it again allows us to keep building and building and having a more and more useful resource in climate lit. Sorry, just waiting for that little thing to go away. Okay. We also have done our first workshop this past month, and we're going to be running that again at a few different conferences to keep educating educators on how to best use climate lit as a resource in their classrooms.
Thank you, Emily. Really appreciate you and all the work that you and all the Climate Lit folks have been able to do this last year. It's super exciting to see all that growth and to see Climate Lit become one of these really amazing open access resources for educators, caregivers, young people, everybody to use. So thank you. And now I want to introduce Dr. Stephanie Rolag-Yoon, who's zooming in from South Minneapolis, I think,
Yes.
to talk about another open access resource that we have for folks. Steph?
Yes. Thank you so much. Speaking of open access resources, I'm thrilled to talk about the open access journal, Climate Literacy in Education. It's something that is in its early stages, but we are so excited about the progress that we've made. And one of the things that is important about this is it is a completely open access journal for and by teachers, which is rare, which means people can get it without any cost. And really what it is about is sharing the stories of teachers and teacher educators who are doing this work in the classroom and making that accessible for people. So it is a pocket journal. You can find it online. It has beautiful student artwork like the cover here, and then different submission types, including curriculum, reflections, critical essays, and creative and multimodal different types of projects. And we are both accepting submissions in these different areas, and you can go straight to the journal right now to read about these different examples. We have 2 issues out currently and 2 more in the works. One is a 3rd issue that's any topic that you are of interest related to climate literacy. And then we're also accepting for a special issue titled Water as Conflict and Water as Commons, where we really look at what people are doing in their classrooms around water issues.
Thank you, Steph. And it's really a joy to be able to work with you and Emily on these open access resources because it's a huge communal effort. So yeah, thank you for all the work that you do. And like Steph said, if you're interested in the journal, just Google us up because we're online. Next up, I want to introduce, here we go. Barb Thies, our Associate Director of Development, as well as Sean, our Undergraduate Assistant in Development, who will talk about the good work that makes things like CLE and Climate Lit possible. Sean?
Hi, I'm Sean, and this past fall, we were very excited to participate in our second Give to the Max Day, an annual statewide fundraising event here in Minnesota. This past year, thanks to the generosity of our donors, many of whom are here with us today, we were able to raise $6,080, which is $2,000 more than last year and enough to fund a undergraduate assistant for 2.5 years.
And as we're a self-funded center, fundraising opportunities like Give to the Max are crucial to making our work possible. Every dollar goes directly to running the programs that we're celebrating here today, and we truly couldn't do it without your support. If you'd like to help us expand our reach, you can visit this link that you see here on the slide. You can donate and view specific projects that are in need of financial support. We'll share the link as well as a digital copy of the development flyer that you also can see on the slide here in the chat. And really, we welcome you to spread the climate literacy love and share these resources with anyone in your circle who's looking for a way to make a direct impact on climate action. Whether it be by donating or helping us get the word out about the center, we thank you for helping us build a more climate literate society.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Barb. It's a joy to work with you both as well. Thank you for all the good work you do. And another really rad thing that some of our funds go towards is to fund things like our events series. So I'm speaking on behalf of Dr. Sam Lindgren, who's from the University of Illinois. Dr. Lindgren is our Associate Director of Events and unfortunately can't be here today, but she prepared this slide for me to share on her behalf, which is announcing our fall webinar series. So starting this fall, we'll have monthly webinars. And as you can see, it's a big range of climate literacy topics and really rad folks coming on to share their work. We've got folks who'll be zooming in from all across North America and abroad. So please stay tuned for specific times and links and resources, but go ahead and mark your calendars for these specific days that you see listed. If you are interested in hosting an event, facilitating an event, or participating in one, you can use your smart device to scan that QR code on this slide. You can email Sam directly at her email address at the bottom of this screen, or you can get in touch with us at climatelit@umn.edu. So We look forward to those events this fall. And we have some really fresh and exciting news regarding our content creation. So at this time, I want to invite two of our wonderful undergraduate assistants, Lexi and Emma, to talk about the really amazing work that they are doing. Lexi and Emma?
Hello, I'm Emma. I'm the undergraduate assistant in media production at the center.
I'm Lexi and I'm a content creation assistant.
And during this past year, I've gotten to create some really fun illustrations for the center, including the designs you're now seeing, such as stickers, yard signs, concept icons, and an educational zine, which now has translations in both Spanish and French. My most recent project has been collaborating with Lexi to create a concept map based on climate literacy.
So I've been working on the concept map draft. The one on the screen is for an ecological civilization. And the main idea behind these concept maps is to take these big concepts relating to climate literacy and create a visual guide for them that is able to depict them and the core themes in a way that's accessible for young students and teachers.
And hot off the press, like as of this morning at 6 a.m., is the culmination of a lot of that work, which is our first climate literacy concept map. So this is the fruits of a lot of people's labor. Emma literally burned the midnight oil in a sustainable way to get this to you today. But you can see that this is going to be a wonderful classroom resource for educators as a way to both visualize how our climate literacy concepts are connected, but also to help young people engage with specific texts. So this will be a link that is sent out to you after this webinar. And if you are lucky enough to be participating in our Schools for the Planet Summer Institute, you will get a physical copy of this for your classroom or your fridge. So thank you, Lexi and Emma, for all the work that you do. And we'll see you again in about 10 minutes. So thank you to our wonderful undergrads. And we're not done shouting praise for our undergraduates, but I'm not going to be the only one to shout that praise. I want to invite Nicholas and Kai to give more of an overview of what our undergraduates have been up to.
Yeah, hi, my name is Nicholas Broski, and I'm one of the undergraduate assistants here at the Center for Climate Literacy. I just want to introduce us as a cohort. So we're really a group of 5+1 that kind of developed over the past 2 semesters. And we're a group of students from really all over the university. So some of us are in the School of Agriculture studying environmental science. There's a kid in the business school for some reason. And there's students really from all over. And so we're bringing in a lot of different backgrounds. And a lot of our undergraduate assistants are also very busy. So some of us are double majoring, some of us are taking more credits than we really should be. And so I want to extend a big thanks to all of you, all of my co-undergraduate assistants for being here with me. Additionally, sadly, there's a little bit of melancholy this year, which is we have to say goodbye to some of our undergraduate assistants who are graduating this year. So I want to extend a big congratulations to Sean, Kai, and Asha. Thank you so much for everything you provided, and good luck in your next steps.
Moving right along, us as a group have done some very fun collaborative events over this year. We built together the CCL departmental tree on our big board by our office. That was fun. Some hours were put into that. A lot of us have been going to different events to table and talk about the center. We did a couple media shoots where we recorded Nick reading books and tried not to laugh. And then we've spent many hours cutting, stapling, and putting together zines while we talked, had fun, and maybe some treats here or there. Coming into 2024, I would like to welcome Rachel and August as our new undergraduate assistants. I'm very excited to have you guys here, and you'll do amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much. We're going to pass it back to Nick.
And one final thing about our undergraduates who were too humble to say, but I am very proud to announce that our undergraduate assistants were the winners of the 2024 Institute on the Environment Sustainable Communicators Award. So this is a University of Minnesota system-wide award to a group within the system, and our undergraduates won. So those of you who will still be with us next year will receive $1,000 to do a project of their choice. So big congratulations for the wonderful work you do. And I am super sad that despite our best efforts, Sean, Kai, and Asha will be graduating. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to speak just briefly about our outreach and engagement efforts. And the most notable thing to mention is that we have a new membership model. So right now, this is live. And we welcome anyone to join our center as a member. You can see some of the statistics on the left-hand side here. And what member or fellow entails is that you get a title. So you get to be named Center for Climate Literacy Fellow, and you get sort of first access to our resources and events and things. And because we know you're already doing a lot in your own time, in your own work, it's also a way for us to honor the work that you are already doing. So if you'd like to join us, please visit our website. There's lots of links to get engaged. And on the right-hand side of the slide, you can see a lot of the engagement and collaboration that we have had going on this past year, but I won't say too much more about that because Dr. John Lobello Miller will say more about our collaborations here in a bit. So we are now getting to the point in our fest where we're beginning to shift to be thinking about the future and some of the work that we have planned, have in store, have simmering, have in the oven, whatever metaphor suits you. And before I start rambling on any more and kick things over to Merrick to talk about the climate literacy minor, we have our third gift card to give away. So you know what to do. Drum roll on the surface nearest to you. And if your name is Rebecca Young, you win a gift card. So Rebecca, be checking your emails. Thank you for participating. And Rebecca, thanks for all the work you do for the center. So Merrick?
Okay, so as part of our vision to reach all teachers everywhere, we're developing 3 pathways for climate literacy education training. So the 2 pathways will involve the fellowship, teacher fellowship, and professional development workshops, about which you will learn in a minute. But the 3rd pathway is a climate literacy minor. And so this will be the pathway open to all University of Minnesota undergraduates. And we are now envisioning, we're in the works with these courses, but we're envisioning 4 courses that have no equivalents anywhere at the University of Minnesota or at other institutions as far as we know. And these courses will be probably, at this point, this is still a vision. So we're thinking about 1 course on an ecological civilization and future thinking. So about the civilization that the future we want to create. This will include considerations of AI, new technologies, ecological democracy, circular economy. We will have another course on climate justice and a just transition, because of course, a transition to a sustainable world requires not just technologies or technological changes, but reckoning with racism, colonialism, and other forms of violence and injustice that have brought us to where we are. 3, we will have a course on hope, climate emotions, and building community and individual resilience. And we will also have a course on how to become good ancestors, kin to all life. This will be based on indigenous knowledge systems, in which students will learn about nature rights, social ecological systems, applied ecocentrism, and a bunch of other concepts. So this is still very much in the works, but I hope that next year, at next year's Earth Day, we'll be able to tell you exactly what we were able to do with this. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Merrick. As Merrick just mentioned, fellowship is one of these core ways that we can get climate literacy into schools. And so we're excited to announce the sort of tentative wrapped up plans for our teacher fellowship program. It will be a 3-year engagement with a class size of around 20. And our goal really is to copy some really successful programs. For instance, the New York School's Master Teacher Fellowship Program. And one of the special features of this program is that it actually funds teachers. And this is really something we need to emphasize, which is that this work needs to be funded. Teachers need to be supported throughout this work. And so our goal is to be able to provide funding to a set of teachers to work with center staff, and also be able to align that with continued education and professional development requirements. we want this to be an add-on and something that can really improve the classroom experience. I personally got the opportunity to do some of the financial math behind this and look into what it would take to actually reach a portion of the Minnesotan population. And so just to reach 3% of students, that would mean reaching 2001 teachers and over 25,000 students. When you phrase it that way, it actually seems a lot more doable. And the reality is to start a program like this, it does cost a fair amount. We estimate that it would cost around 1.3 million to sustainably reach this population and create a system that can perpetuate throughout generations. So thank you so much. I'll pass it back to Nick, please.
Thanks, Merrick. Thanks, Nicholas. And as both Merrick and Nicholas noted, the heart of what we do at the center is that we work with teachers, and teachers know their classrooms best. So in our collaborations with teachers, we want to hear their voice. We want to support them however they want, and we want to amplify the wonderful work that they themselves are doing. And so at this point, I want to invite Luke Glidden and Abby Hartzell, if Abby is able to make it, to talk. There you are, rad. Looks like Luke is zooming from a vehicle. I mean, that's commitment. Luke and Abby are two of our center's teacher fellows and our teacher ambassadors. So they're going above and beyond to promote climate literacy education. Abby is an ELA instructor. Luke is a science instructor, and both are not only alumni of the center's Schools for the Planet Summer Institute, but both are also alumni of the pilot version of the teacher fellowship program that Nicholas just mentioned. So they're doing lots of wonderful work, and I'm going to pass it over to them to talk more about what that work is. So Luke and Abby, go ahead.
I can kick us off. It is just so fantastic to be here, and like getting to hear all the work the center is doing is so exciting, knowing that we were getting to see the foundations laid out for the teacher fellowship program. That last slide just got me so excited. But to give you a couple updates on what it's like out here in the field with the students in the classrooms, I have been teaching climate literacy in my English classroom for the past couple of years with ninth graders, engaging them in a variety of different texts and ranging from like picture books to movies to short stories, novels, even like advertisements. And then I've also been able to have the opportunity to do some professional developments for my staff at Fridley High School, where I teach. And I'll be presenting at MCTE in Duluth in a couple of weeks to talk about the intersection between climate literacy and culturally relevant pedagogy, how you can bring students' identities into the classroom and engage with them on issues about climate change and climate justice to help them feel like they're seen and heard in the classroom. One final thing that was just an absolute dream come true is in the fall, I got to go to COP28 in Dubai, representing my students, asking all of their fantastic, funny, amazing, interesting questions to the people who are working on international climate policy, and then bring that information back. So it's been a big year.
So exciting. I want to highlight something to add on to what has already been mentioned about that there's a huge appetite for climate literacy out there. Through the center, I got to do a kind of curriculum view for a review for a local STEAM school, STEAM elementary school, to try and find kind of openings and opportunities in their curriculum to further inject and enhance climate literacy in some of the things they were doing. And immediately kind of teachers were on board purchasing books, including the Day the River Caught Fire, and they're kind of asking for more. So the appetite is out there, and the center is a force in what is needed out there.
Thank you, Luke and Abby. Y'all are the force that's needed out there. And thank you for your energy and care, and for spending your Friday afternoon with us. I hope y'all are able to rest, maybe even take a nap this weekend. So thank you, folks, for all the work that you do. Our last segment in our big plans section is our collaborations. And Dr. Jonna Lobella Miller, who's zooming in from somewhere on planet Earth, will be talking more about that. So Jonna, kick it over to you.
Perfect. I'm excited to share two examples of the Center of Climate Literacy's collaborations. The center collaborated with Climate Generation on 2 grants, one statewide and one national. And if awarded, the center will be working with Climate Generation for several years around education, stories, and climate literacy. Also, with generous funding from the Shakopee Mdewakanton Sioux Communities Understand Native Minnesota initiative, this summer, the University of Minnesota Department of American Indian Studies and the Center for Climate Literacy are hosting 45 K-12 teachers to an inaugural American Indian Studies for Teachers Institute. The goal of this collaborative institute is to improve the level of teaching of American Indian Studies in K-12 classrooms in Minnesota, and will include topics such as Dakota and Ojibwe histories and politics, decolonization and eco-justice, arts, and native life. We are really looking forward to more collaborations with the center and others.
Thank you, Jonna. And thank you and Steph for taking the lead on these and other collaborations. Yeah, really grateful for you. And it's good to see you in person today. We are about to transition to our fifth section, big announcements. So this is where we might be blasting off somewhere unexpected. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time to, strap in, put on your oxygen masks, do whatever you need to do to go into orbit. And I'll give you that time by announcing our 4th winner. So drum roll on whatever surface is nearest to you. And that's good. And Sarah Lee Reed, you are our 4th winner. Thank you for being here and congratulations. So I hope you all are buckled in, got your masks on, because Dr. Marek Ozievich is going to finish this countdown. Marek?
Thanks, Nick. So as you can imagine, this work takes support and resources. And we're very proud that what you see on the screen is 3 reports written by Earth herself, working through a super secret organization called NASA, which is not NASA. And these reports have been sent out, special teams sent out intergalactically to explore our universe and figure out ways to teach young humans about how precious our planet is. And today, I am very excited to say that we have 2 guests, plenipotentiaries of NASA and representatives of Earth herself. And they may come from another galaxy, but on Earth, they are known as John Sheshka and Steven Weinberg. And I just want to say a few words about them, and then we'll introduce them. So John is best known as the author of children's literature classics and the first national ambassador for children's literature at the Library of Congress. Steven is a writer, illustrator, and painter whose children's books have been called brilliant and thrillingly shameless for their artwork and choice of topics. His most recent book is on color. Both John and Steven are also climate literacy ambassadors at the center. So we are very, very, very proud to announce that with the generous funding from NASA and John Sheshka and Steven Weinberg, we are launching 2 intergalactic astronauts fellowships to support 2 undergraduate assistants at the center. John and Steven, welcome. Are you there?
Hello.
Whoa!
We're here. I
We
am
are
very
here.
much in outer space, as you can
Tell us
see.
what brings you here.
Well,
Do you
I'm
have any
very far from you
messages?
right now. I'm deep in the Orion Nebula and not in my studio, for one thing.
Okay, so are you ready? We want to introduce our candidates to you. And let me just say, so Lexi Dela Cruz is a computer science major, graduating in May 25. She enjoys reading, doing puzzles, and playing clarinet. After graduation, she plans to work as a software engineer. And Emma Ambrosi is majoring in fisheries, wildlife, and conservation biology and minoring in insect science. She will be graduating in spring 25 as well. And she hopes to go into the field of insect conservation. She's from Duluth, Minnesota, and she enjoys drawing, taking macro photos, and playing video games in her free time. So, John and Steven, we understand that you have a high-tech piece of gear to help our fellows better do their work. Would you be able to use your teleportation superpowers to present it now?
Maybe.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
sure.
give it a shot. Okay, so we have our two.
I'm gonna push some totally real buttons here,
Wait,
John.
yeah, I'm out in the plant planet. I gotta do some
Mm.
adjustments myself.
I'm also in the ship. Here we go. And then you need to punch in the last. Do you have a key? We turn the same time.
Yeah,
3,
I got it.
2, 1.
One, go.
Yeah,
Got it.
I think we did it. Whoa!
Oh,
It's working.
we love Climate Lit so much, and we are so thrilled to be welcoming our fellow astronauts who look so good. You guys can wear this anywhere.
You can wear it in deep space. I mean, I don't need it because I've got the baseball hat, but that looks really good.
That looks more than good. You know what? I think you can go into the stores and just take anything you want. Just tell them you're with not NASA.
I don't know if the fellowship extends.
No, don't
budget,
mention
John?
our
Yeah.
name. Just mention Merrick's name. It'll be fine. Those look spectacular.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm very impressed.
You guys.
This is, we're good at many things, but constructing completely real space helmets is probably our number one
What are
skill we have.
you talking about? My helmet, Stephen? Don't be talking.
John's in Florida, guys, so I don't
That's
know
not
what
Florida. I'm on
happens
the
down there.
plant planet. I've gone back to our first plant. It's really recovered nicely.
Right, the plant planet.
Important question for you guys.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Just a second. I have a very serious and important question for Stephen. So
Oh.
in your books, you have this character known as Stinkbug. And you've made the bold artistic decision to give him what looks like the body of a beetle and the eye stalks of a mollusk. Is there any particular lore there?
Well,
with
that's a good question. As you can see, Stinkbug is kind of an amalgamation of lots of bugs. All the art in this book, I love that this is such an open access focused organization. This is all taken from open access art collections and museums around the world. And there are lots of engravings of sharks and wolves and birds, and most of them of bugs are really small. So I had to get pretty creative.
And
and mountains. So yes, Stinkbug is a little bit of everything.
I love that this also reminds me exactly when we go and speak to kids about climate literacy, they'll zero in and all the expert kids will just call our bluff on like stuff we just started. Yeah, we just kind of did that. We had guys asking us like, have you been to the Diamond Planet? Do you know about the Diamond Planet? Oh, yeah. Well,
But
we'll Google
that's
it.
kind of why we there's so many things we like to put in there that kids can go deeper into. Like in book 2, they go to the water planet, which is all about climate disinformation. And the Clam Senate they meet Clam McConnell. I mean, like
Well, yeah,
it's not that
run
subtle.
by a clamocracy, so obviously there'll be a Clam McConnell.
Yeah, and there's a whole Clams for Prosperity who are behind everything, which is just so much fun copying these logos of groups that have incredibly large budgets and do the opposite of what you guys are doing.
Exactly. And we were thrilled when we finally met up with Merrick and Nick and just all the good work that you guys do here. It's exactly what's needed now. Stephen and I thought about building a rocket to try to go to Mars or live 100 years. We thought, no, come on, let's write books instead. We'll make just as much money.
We can totally fix the clouds too. That was our fallback.
That was our fallback. Yeah.
Little gold
that's a
particle
great
dust in
thing.
space. No, but this, I mean, we know the science. You guys all know this, and we need the stories. And
yeah,
this is our very humble contribution with fart jokes because methane is involved, as you all know.
Well, and it's
yeah,
like Luke and Abby said too, it's just like the kids are so hungry for this. They are so far ahead of us. We just need to like give them more rocket fuel, just like feature them. So we're
probably
more than to
rocket
help.
fuel that's sustainably created, John.
Also
Not just
sustainable.
yeah.
Just like Nick's Midnight Oil.
That's right. Thank you for remembering, John. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Hey, thank you both again. I mean, seriously, thank you for all that y'all do, and thank you for supporting Lexi and Emma. And I'm super excited for all the wonderful work they'll do going forward, all the wonderful things they'll take from stores on Merrick's behalf wearing these helmets. Now that we have this fellowship, the center can say that we are not only international, but we are galactic. So yeah, thank you all again.
You did tell them about the astronaut initiation later, right?
Oh no, I was gonna let y'all.
Oh,
do
you
it.
didn't? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, never mind. They'll find out soon enough. Don't
Okay,
worry.
yeah. These have communication devices inside the head.
Yeah.
We'll patch you right in.
Oh, that looks
Oh,
so
wow.
good. Oh, man.
Thank you, Lexi and Emma. Thank you again, John.
Thanks, Lexi and Emma.
We appreciate you. Well, we are not done with big announcements, actually. So John and Stephen have communicated to us from outer space. Catherine Applegate will be communicating with us from outside time. And I'll say a bit more about what that's going to look like here in a second. But I want to introduce Catherine herself, who will be appearing virtually here in a second. Catherine Applegate is our longtime supporter and ambassador, and she has graciously committed to another year of funding to support an undergraduate fellow. As most of you know, Catherine is the Newbery Medal-winning and New York Times best-selling author of children's books, best known for books like The One and Only Ivan, the Earthlings series, Crenshaw, Wistree, Otter, and for my fellow millennials, that's right, the Animorph series, as well as many other books that offer multiple openings for climate literacy conversations in the classroom. Catherine has already given us generous funding to support Kai's position, but because Kai is graduating, we need to find someone to step in for Kai's place. And Kai is going to do that vetting for us. So without further ado,
I have 3 very important questions I will get to shortly. But since they got amazing space helmets, Catherine Applegate people, we need something too. So I crafted this hummingbird from her Willowdene book, and I will be passing this on as our gauntlet. So without further ado, I would like to announce Nicholas as our incoming Catherine Applegate assistant. So Nicholas, 1 second. So it's very important that you answer these 3 questions. I wish you best of luck. So, what is one of your favorite animals?
Oh, a snow leopard.
That's wonderful. Other question, can you name a single mammal?
Oh, I don't know if I can. Is that a deal breaker if I can?
You might want to think a little harder on that
Okay.
one.
I might be able to think of
Come on,
one.
you got this. You got this. Just pull on that
What about
brain.
the northern long-eared bat? That's a very good bat.
Yeah, that is a good bat. I'll accept that. And finally, what sound does a screecher from the Willowdene book make?
Well, I think if I remember correctly, it's something like, right?
Something along those lines.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no,
okay.
you did good, man.
Well, yeah.
Honestly, you're gonna do great.
The audiobook hasn't come out yet with that
The
audio bit in
specific
it, but
audio
we're
bit?
working
Yeah.
on that, I
Okay,
think.
okay. Well, anyways, this hummingbird is flying in to bestow upon you the position. You're gonna do great.
Well, thank you so much.
and thank you, Kai, for vetting our new fellow. And Nicholas, here's the time of the presentation where we get to hear from Catherine herself, not just out of space, but out of time. So I'll go ahead and play this video for you and all, a message from Catherine Applegate.
Hi, I'm Catherine Applegate. I'm the author of lots of books for young readers, and I am delighted and honored to be here today with you. First of all, I want to thank Kai for the amazing work you've been doing. And I want to congratulate Nicholas on assuming the fellowship. It's a big honor for me to be a tiny part of the work you're doing. It's so important to get climate literacy education into every single classroom. I sometimes get really frustrated and depressed about the state of the world, as I'm sure many of you do. But then I go visit students, and to a person, they are idealistic and energized, and they know so much more than kids, say, a generation ago knew about the world. And I feel hopeful. And one of the reasons I can sleep at night is knowing that people like you are out there doing the good work that needs to be done to help save our very precious Mother Earth. So thank you all so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
Nicholas.
much.
Congratulations.
Hi.
And now we are reaching the final few minutes of our presentation. And before our final expressions of gratitude, we have one more gift card to give away. So if you are still in a place that has gravity, please give one final drum roll for our final gift card winner. And it is Shauna Frazier. Shauna, thank you for participating in today's fest, and be checking your inbox, as well as everybody else whose name was called, and just everybody who attended today. Early next week, you will get a link to this recording. You'll get a link to these slides for you to revisit if you would like, and also links to all the resources mentioned today. But we have reached the last slide of our presentation. Thank you all for attending and for being here. Thank you for celebrating climate literacy with us, for celebrating teachers, students, and celebrating our Earth. There's a lot that we've accomplished together as a collective. There's a lot of work that's coming up. There's a lot of work that's yet to be done. And even though this work can be challenging at times, can be daunting at times, we at the Center for Climate Literacy are heading into summer with joy, confidence, and gratitude. So thank you all for being here, for your support, for the work that you do, and happy Earth Day. Thank you, everyone.